Welcome back, viewers at home, to the Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup. We are almost ready to go into the second semi-final of today's knockout tournament action between Fedoras and Northern Exposure, and this looks set to be an intense game, doesn't it, Heroes at School?
It looks. Yes, we just saw a pretty dominant performance by Team Snow, but this time I'm really looking forward to a very close game. We have the dominant winner of Division 3 against the second place and Northern Exposure from Division 2, but with amazing performances during the group stage of the playoffs. I'm expecting a close and high quality game here from these teams.
Yeah, I mean, these are the two teams who've been favourites really in the polls to win the Legendary Cup. Fedoras absolutely crushed Division 3 in the division stages. Northern Exposure have been strong in Division 2 as I understand it, but I don't think... Did they come first or second? I will tell you very shortly.
Did come second in Division 2. Team Snow actually finished first.
Oh, wow. So, hang on. So, what you're saying is if Northern Exposure win this, then the grand final is first place versus second place of Division 2. If Fedoras win this, then the grand final is first place of Division 2 versus first place of Division 3. I mean, there's a poetic grand final either way.
It will be for sure, and just for what we've seen, I guess the remaining... I just saw COB Galabanger in the last game for the first time, but from what I see from these three teams that remain, they play all very, very well, very skillful players, and I guess we can expect a grand semifinal coming up and a grand final for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be...
That might basically why the reason why I'm not tired yet at all. Yeah, I mean, we've been streaming for quite some time and casting, and we will be casting for quite some time, but I'm getting more and more hyped, actually, to be honest with you.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a best of 3, and the grand final is best of 5. So it potentially we could be casting another 8 games in these final 2 remaining series.
Yeah, I would appreciate that as well, for sure. I would be up for that.
So I think there's going to be a sub playing for one of the teams. I'm just waiting for some of that sub detail to be sorted out by the teams before we start. Before we do, I'm just going to give you a quick reminder. I know I keep going on about it, but we do have the return of Heroes Lounge Division S starting next weekend with a qualifier every weekend until for 4 weeks, and then there's going to be a kind of Crucible style knockout tournament qualifier thingy. And then we'll go into regular league play of Division S, where there will be prize money, and you can contribute to that prize money by typing !divs donate. If I've not explained any of that clearly enough, which I definitely have not, you can type !divs in the chat. You get a link to our site where there's loads of information about that, or you can just go to heroeslounge.gg and get more information there. Please do donate if you can to the prize pool. It really does help support top-end competitive Heroes of the Storm for Division S. So, we also have the Mythic Championship tomorrow, which should be juicy. What's your thoughts about? What's your thought about the Mythic Championship tomorrow? What are you expecting?
To be honest, I think in the Mythic Championship, we do have fans' favorites in the side of X-Ray, I guess. They're going to have a fair shot at the title. We did have Wheel of Order actually been voting during the group stage, but Wheel of Order didn't make it to the knockout stage.
I think you'll find it's pronounced.
I guess X-Ray do have a fair shot at the title. We still do see Quick Slick Trick in it. So last year, they had an amazing performance coming back from some problems during the regular season, and then with amazing performances in the playoffs, almost making it through to the finals there as well. So yeah, it's hard to predict this time of this year. So yeah, really looking forward towards tomorrow. Will be covered here, I guess, as well.
Yes, it will indeed.
100%. And yeah, don't miss that. Don't miss that.
So
for
if
sure.
if you want to check that out, don't forget to follow the channel up there somewhere, and just tune in, or keep an eye on our Discord, where we have always announcements about the stuff. We're still just waiting on some players and stuff to. The match might be delayed by, I don't know, 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, it's good that actually we are pretty much on schedule.
Yeah, because we've.
I think we're on 1 hour behind or something. But it's fine.
Well, while we do that, while we wait for the players, maybe you can talk us through the map picks, the map bans and picks that we've seen coming up so far. Because we are going to go to Infernal Shrines for the first map, aren't we?
Yes, we ended up on Infernal Shrines. I don't think I have the overview at the moment, although I do see.
I tell you what, I can give you the overview. It's just come up on my screen. We've got Dragonshire banned by Donor Fedoras. Sky Temple also banned by Donor Fedoras. Northern Exposure banned Garden and Towers of Doom, and then they picked Infernal Shrines.
Okay, so I think what we see, like if you're facing an enemy that you're not knowing yet, and I guess that could be the case here from as we face Northern Exposure against Donor Fedoras because they played in different divisions. Going for Infernal Shrines is usually a good idea because it's an all-around balanced map of micro and macro management. You have a clear objective. You do have good macro. Do have to have good macro plays. You do have to win the team fights as well. So it tells you a lot about the enemy team if you're just playing this map, for starters. So the bans against, I don't think I've ever seen Garden of Terror in the higher ranks. So Legendary and Mythic Championship. I think it's banned out almost all of the time. We don't see yet a pick. We did see the bans against Dragonshire and Sky Temple, which tells you that you might have some trouble with macro stuff, or better, even with rotational stuff, because that is very important on these two maps. And on the other side, we do have still open maps like Alterac Pass, which is not yet picked. And yeah, gonna be interesting. I guess we can tell much more after the first game.
Yeah, and viewers, you can still vote in our viewer poll about who you think will win the Legendary Cup. You can type number 1 in the chat for Team Snore, number 2 for Northern Exposure, or number 3 for Donor Fedoras. I suggest you don't type 4 for COB Geilebanger because they've just been eliminated 2-0, so there they are, unfortunately, out of the competition. But technically, you still can write for
it just out of nostalgia. Like, think like, okay,
maybe if you type 4, it means you think Karis and Heroes at School are great casters. Vote for the casters. That's what you're voting for. So yeah. So I mean, what was I saying? Yeah, I think Infernal Shrines, as you were saying, is fairly standard map. Nothing too exotic here. Donor Fedoras, we know they're an old school lounge team. They've been playing a long time together. Previously in Division 1, they have moved through because they've changed a few players and they've been reseeded a couple of times and stuff. And they didn't do, to be fair, they did not do well in Division 1 in the last few seasons. So if I think probably there's an element of intimidation here for Northern Exposure. And by the way, fans of Northern Exposure, Baby Houdini and Eric from Northern Exposure will be casting some of the Mythic Championship here on this channel tomorrow, starting at 13 CET. So definitely follow the channel and tune in tomorrow afternoon for that if you're a fan of Northern Exposure. But yes, but they will be feeling a little bit intimidated, I think, by the veteran nature of Donor Fedoras, surely.
Yeah, it's just gonna be interesting to see. I mean, it's like We've seen Northern Exposure with an amazing performances or dominant performances, especially during the group stage. We've seen them play dominant against what was the quarterfinal again? There they played against Team Heart, and they won this in just like with not that rush like we saw in the last match on Towers of Doom from the team of Team Snore. But on the other side, they never felt to be threatened by Team Heart at any point of the game. So they probably feel a little bit comfortable. They do have good reason to be very confident in the playing that they're facing now. And but so do obviously Donna Fedoras. So it's going to be interesting to see this matchup. I really couldn't make any prediction at this point.
I couldn't either. And like we say, it's the second place of Division 2 versus the first place of Division 3. We know from having seen the Rare and Epic Cups last weekend that often the underdogs, so to speak, from the lower divisions can go ahead and take victory. So yes, they're probably feeling a bit nervous, but a little bit confident. What about Donna Fedoras? What do you think is their feeling coming into this? I mean, we didn't get to cover their series, but that was covered on Heroes Lounge 2. And by the way, anyone who wants to go back and watch that, you can go to twitch.tv/Heroes Lounge 2. There'll be a video there. Don't watch it now because obviously you got to watch my face. But after this grand final is finished later today, if you want to watch more there, you could go back and watch the video. And hopefully we will upload them all to our YouTube channel. But I can't guarantee that always happens, but we will try. We'll definitely try. But definitely, I mean, so Donna Fedoras, what are they feeling like?
I guess you said like Donna Fedoras, they've been a Division 1 team for quite some time. Did not perform too well there, but they were a Division 1 team, and now they were back into Division 3, which obviously they dominated there, so they must be something in between. But yeah, I guess it could, like, you can get to this point where you get that sort of positive anger. So you get like beaten down, you decline 2 divisions, and you get that now I'm going to show you mood. Yeah, you get into this mood where you'll be ready to prove everyone that you're better than them. And it might still be that we see Donna Fedoras still benefiting from that, and they are really they so far they perform on exactly that level. But yeah, they had probably an easy run on Division 3. I don't know about the quarterfinal here, but on the group stage they were dominant as well. So yeah, they showed no problem dealing with Division 2 teams already. So it's gonna be the matter of will they be when they face one of the top teams of Division 2 for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. So first pick on Infernal Shrines is in favor of Donna Fedoras. What is the strategy around first pick here for the teams? Are they prioritizing, getting an Alarak or something, or are they focusing on getting a tank or a support? I mean, what is the top priority after the bans have gone through?
Well, I'm expecting bans against Alarak anyway. I guess he's going to be banned on any map. I guess what we've seen, we know that Johanna is like really making it up to like tier S tanks. Like Johanna is so valuable, and I still think she's pretty strong on the Shrines map even more. So is the Diablo still, in my opinion. We just saw in the last game how devastating a Diablo play can be, and we know that he has good engages on Infernal Shrines. So I guess we're gonna see a focus on the tanks, and then on the other side, it will always be a matter like, do you go for an early Alexstrasza pick? Because I think like Alexstrasza can carry out on the Infernal. With the Dragon Lighter, you can secure the objective, but an early Alexstrasza pick might be countered as well by strong engages combinations, or like the grenade from Ana, so you can go for Ana to negate some healing, or a Junkrat. Junkrat is pretty strong on shrines, I guess so too, because he can poke from afar. We have Hanzo, who is so strong on shrines and provides with good general and high meta pick in general. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in Inferno Shrines, and I guess that's one of the reasons why many like to play this map, because your first pick is not really giving you that much of a head start.
Okay, I mean, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I think there's a lot of different answers that teams can offer to some of the priority picks here. I think we're actually about to start in the draft, so we will see. Maybe there's oh no, there's still some technical issues. Good, that's what we like to see. So it's nearly so with that in mind, we might just take a couple of minutes break and we can review some of the exciting replays from the quarterfinal earlier while we just fix some of the tech issues the players are having. We will take a 2-minute break and we'll be back very shortly. Don't go anywhere.
All 5 members back up.
This time hitting 2 members. Jaina's got the nano boost active, but she couldn't do anything because she was too busy dancing. Rhaegar's been taken out eventually. And great little play there from Diaz, who turned around what looked like a big mosh pit. Oh, as ETC gets rooted, can they follow up? The Ancestral completely denied by the grenades. Lovely grenades here from Anna, played by Porky. With the cleanse on top, absolutely huge, but somehow Creamy manages to get out of there. The Ring of Frost to turn around is absolutely massive. The Nano Boost comes in. ETC's going to be the next to fall. It's 4 members on the deck, and only Rhaegar survives. Absolute massacre here by Diaz against Team Snore. Ring of Frost on top. That's absolutely savage. Uther and Vala made short work of that by
What
Rhaegar.
is going on, dears? My lord.
And this looks like it's going to be game. They're going to equalize out this quarterfinal. They're going to make it 1-1 as they push all the way with this second immortal of the game. And GG's been called. Well played to Diaz.
Wow.
What a devastating performance.
The Gust was pulled up there, but Ancestral Healing and the Earth, Wind and Fire is actually denying itself. And then we see Lim Ming jumping away, and she gets healed a lot. We have healing turrets on both sides. The silence was put pretty praised well, but now we do see Team Deers dropping lower and lower, but they still manage to be everyone alive. And we do have, again, a focus on Lim Ming in the backline there. That fight goes on and on and on, and Mai on Imperius is dropping lower and lower, but it might be Chen who falls first. Yes, it actually is Chen who falls first, but we see the re-engage from the ETC coming in, and he gets the kill against Imperius on the other hand, and we do have a 1-for-1 situation.
Start getting some value here. They want to try and catch that Ming, but she's so low. Can she get away? It looks like she's safely away. And actually, ults were traded from both teams, and the fact that Diaz survived is going to be, good for them overall, given the circumstances. Oh, is it a disaster for Gaben? They can converge, but oh, the teleport just away in time. Everyone on Diaz is running down, trying to save Li Ming, and Gaben gets away, and now there's no wind tunnel available. Great escape from Gaben.
And that is a clutch talent.
In comes the Falstaff flying in immediately. The mosh pit, no! It's a massive anti-synergy. The wind tunnel on top of the mosh pit. This is a disaster in coordination here from Team Snore, and it's slightly backfired for them.
Lack of communication there.
In they go though, ETC with the slide in. Chen pops his Boogie Wonderland ult. They want to chase here, but love for the... Welcome back. You're watching the Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup semi-final between Donar Fedoras and Northern Exposure. Joining me here, it's Heroes at School. And before we get into the draft, just maybe you should tell people where they can find you on the internet.
Okay, look, sorry, I was just a little bit distracted. Yeah, of course, many of you maybe know my channel as well. It's Twitch TV / Heroes at School. I'm actually providing with a lot of Heroes Lounge casts also during the regular season. Yeah, feel free to join me there from time to time, like after this weekend, because this weekend is going to be a ton of action going on here on this channel, and I'll be there as well.
Yep, definitely check Heroes at School out, and you can also find me at twitch.tv/HotsCaris. That's HOTS and Caris, which is here. And so we will see what these teams are doing. I think We're just
think we have some problems like...
still... I think I've heard about there's some bugs with the lobby modes and stuff where players get dropped and stuff. But we're just waiting for the teams to sort that out. But well, for moderators to sort that out. Don't forget the poll is still running, where you can vote for who you think. And Northern Exposure, by the way, still in the lead in the poll. What looks like 50%, if I can actually see. Yeah, 50% with 12 votes. Northern Exposure. And so that means only 24 people have voted. But I know that over 200 of you are watching. So get your votes in the chat by typing 1, 2, 3, or 4. What's the question? The question in the chat: what is the prize for the first place in this tournament? The answer is that you get a trophy made of the highest quality plastic. The highest quality plastic that money can buy. No expense spared. Actually, quite a lot of expense spared because it's a volunteer organization, and. But so this is not a tournament for cash money. This is a tournament for prestige and also for fun. And by the way, any of you who want to get involved in having some fun and have a chance at winning highest quality plastic and get casted by such celebrities as Heroes at School, then what you can do is you can sign up, because there's still 1 week left to sign up for Heroes Lounge Season 11. I think it's Season 11. It's been going a long time, as you can tell. It's the 11 season. And you can sign up as an individual, you can sign up as a free agent. Type ! sign up and get it sorted. We're going into, after what might be called a moderate delay, the draft in game number 1 in this best of 3 semi-final.
Okay, so after some struggle, we finally head into this. Few has been probably impatient. I was for some point, but we're finally here. Infernal Shrines. We talked about the draft already, but what do you expect at first?
I mean, here in Infernal Shrines, so first of all, Alarak's got to go. We saw last series what happens when Alarak's around. Targeting the Valor ban, I'm not so convinced, but it was reasonable. I would like to see something focused on Shrine clear bans. Maybe you're looking at Hanzo, maybe you're looking at Kael'thas even. You know, I mean, it's the old sort of joke, if you see Kael'thas banned, you know you're in gold, but actually, I think on Infernal Shrines it maybe makes a bit of sense. Junkrat banned, that's pretty devastating in general. We know that Junkrat can be brutal.
Alright, so, no, yet still, we do have a lot of them higher meta picks still available, like Alarak and Johanna and Garrosh, and at least one of these 3 is gonna make it through here. And we even have the Sylvanas ban, so probably a situation of if you want to go for the Alarak or Johanna, we're gonna pick the other one, or just counting in on the ban against that from the side of Northern Exposure here. Both available. There we go.
By the way, if you want to bet on who you think will win this game number 1 in this best of 3, you type !bet A and a number of points for Donald Fedoras, !bet B and a number for Northern Exposure. And if you want to know how many points you've got to play with, you type !points. Points don't win you anything, except sometimes we use them for giveaways actually. So maybe they win you stuff, no promises, and they don't cost anything. It's just for fun. Don't sue me. Right, Joanna first pick. Solid tank for this map. Absolutely. The Joanna just works in every situation. But here
even prioritized over the Alarak here.
Yeah,
so we see.
Sorry, go on.
We see Alarak available for Northern Exposure here. I still think, like, if there was one map where you don't want to play him, yes, where you don't want to play him is Infernal Shrines. He doesn't provide too much value there, and against the Johanna, he might face some trouble.
Do you remember the Tyrael sanctifications earlier?
Yeah. And this time we have him together with the Blaze Bunker. We know that Northern Exposure, basically the first map was just won by Tyrael sanctification there on Volskaya.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see how they do that with the bunker as well, because bunker can be a sort of second sanctification, if you can call it that. It's a bit misleading, but yeah. And we said at the time, the Blaze bunker is an answer to sanctification, because you just pile in the bunker while the sanctification and wait the sanctification out. Nobody's picking Blaze now on the enemy team, So because it's already been taken up. So a great little first pick round there by Northern Exposure. Donald Fedoras, on the other hand, playing fairly normally, just saying, look, we're going to get Shrine clear, we're going to get good mages. Chromie, I think, can struggle a bit on Shrines because, at least until level 20, those queues do get blocked by the Shrine minions.
Yeah, and level 20 is quite a long run. You usually don't go for a hero because he's strong after level 20. You really want to snowball earlier. And there we have the more objective-based, more map-based pick of the Alexstrasza on the side of Northern Exposure here. Together with the Tyrael and Blaze providing a lot of sustain. So, ooh, okay, that is new.
That's the first time today,
We've
isn't
seen
it?
a Phoenix here.
The first time today that we've seen a Phoenix. So what's the idea, do you think, behind that Phoenix?
I actually don't know. I really have no idea. No, I can't tell.
Just to throw out a crazy idea, and you tell me if this is absolutely crazy.
Okay.
What about Judgment into Planet Cracker?
Okay, when you mean Judgment, Jet Propulsion, Planet Cracker, I don't see that happening.
Okay.
I would really be surprised by Planet Cracker because usually you can't pull off Planet Cracker only from a safe distance because you're standing for quite some time, standing still on a Phoenix, which is a low health target, and you don't have any Divine Shield or something like an Uther or any real burst heal coming in that moment. So Phoenix, I guess, is he's not going Planet Cracker. I would go for Purification Salve. Everything else would really surprise me here. Before we talk the rest of the draft, what I think can be strong is Phoenix is kind of okay together with Alexstrasza because if you go Lifebinder, you can save Alexstrasza herself because usually Phoenix has a high percentage of his health ready because most of his health comes from his shield. So you can Lifebinder yourself pretty much up with the Phoenix. But apart from that, I don't see a Planet Cracker combination coming in here. Maybe with Durance of Hate upon of that, but I don't know.
I think I agree, and I was sort of suggesting it slightly as a sort of one-mo combo meme. I don't think it's actually going to happen. And also, the slows from Blaze amplify that Purification Salvo. Probably that's the way they're going to go with the Purification Salvo. But obviously, it technically remains to be seen. Just having a check on how the betting is going. It looks like the bets both ways. I think the viewers really find this too hard to call as well. So we'll see. This looks like a balanced draft for both teams. We'll have to see how they execute as we go into the first game in the second semi-final between Donna Fedoras and Northern Exposure. And on the left, in blue, it's Aronas on Chromie. It's Mist on Joanna. It's Ruini on Lunara. It's Bread Bucket on Lyric. And it's Aloname on Rhaegar. They are Donna Fedoras.
And on the right side, we do have the team of Northern Exposure going in with Eric on the Phoenix. We have Juicy on Alexstrasza. Houdini is playing the Blaze. We have Corjin on Tyrael and Elias on Mephisto.
Level 1 talents are in. So, Blaze not going for the D talent at level 1, instead going for Neural Stimpack, the spellcasting one. That suggests to me that it's a solo lane Blaze for one thing. It also means, but the thing is, that means they don't have that much to answer the Chromie Temporal Loop, as Tyrael has to jump out for a second after that Alexstrasza heal. Yeah, so I wonder if Chromie Temporal Loop might be the way to play this. Obviously Blaze will have Bunker, but if Bunker goes down, or if it's, you know, if they can force it with a Temporal Loop or something in another time, maybe that's the way they're going to deal with that.
Yeah, might very well be. I mean, it's like we have the mobile offense taken here from Phoenix, And there was one thing I was maybe thinking about is we do have that one talent where Phoenix does bonus damage to slowed targets on his Q. And they do actually have a lot of slow-in heroes with Alexstrasza, Tyrael, Blaze, and even the Mephisto himself. Everybody is actually slow-in, so he might benefit from that talent. But apart from that, I still don't feel like there's a certain situation here for the Phoenix.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit. It's not really clear cut. Oh, Tyrael just about escapes there. Sorry. I think the teams are going to play. Oh, he did eventually fall. What was that too? Oh, chromie damage. I didn't actually. I assumed he was away safely, so I moved the camera away. Sorry. But yeah, he died to the chromie. Tyrael, and then
I missed it as well.
What were we saying? Yeah. So I think the game plan here of Northern Exposure is, look, we've got Sanctification and we've got Bunker. We're kind of a little bit unkillable. By the way, he doesn't have to take Bunker. We might see Combustion. And that could be used potentially to engage very hard onto Chromie and Lunara, depending on how these teams execute.
This could work. By the way, I actually don't recall. Did we have the Phoenix pick before or after Lunara?
I think Phoenix was after Lunara. Wait, I don't...
I mean, that would make a lot of sense, but I think we had him before Lunara, so I'm actually kind of surprised by the Lunara pick.
Yes, you might be right, actually.
Yeah, and that means because I think Phoenix is kind of strong against Lunara because the slow damage is not going to threaten him at all because his shield is just going to regenerate every time again. So, and against Tyrael, against shields, you usually don't want to go for poison damage. It's like kind of a general, of course, there's nothing to say like such a general sentence, but yeah, usually that is kind of not working very well. Poison against shields, and we do have Tyrael and the Phoenix, so kind of surprised by the Lunara pick.
Yeah, well, the fight's kicking off on this first objective of the first game. Baby Houdini taking a lot of damage. Dragon Queen's popped though and does manage to heal Blaze up tidily, and with the help of his 40 armor from this trait, he survived very nicely there, and Blaze is topped back up. The Dragon Queen though was pretty early in this shrine, and it means they can't finish the shrine while the dragon's up, and when it's down, we're potentially going to see a re-engage here. Baby Houdini, gotta be careful. There's no Dragon Queen to save you this time. Manages to get away to the circle just to survive. But it's a good early
the race is
set.
on. We are sitting at 23 to now 11. We have control over the shrine and level 7 actually here for the team of Donna Fedoras. So that is giving them a little bit of an advantage here. And they equalize the situation there. Still the level 7 advantage is here. Pretty aggressive position of the circle of Alexstrasza, but they get a good engage onto the Leoric, but he slides away barely. Now he's dropping to 16 HP and has actually fallen. Good damage on the Rhaegar there in the backline as well, and Lunara is dropping low very much as well. Nice spread propulsion on 2 targets. They get the kill against Rhaegar and against Chromie, but they do manage to get the Immortal out. The Punisher, sorry, not the Immortal. Wrong map here. John Cena is coming to town, but we do have maybe a team wipe. Johanna is still on the run. I don't think it's worth chasing that Johanna for that 1 kill to get another 10 seconds in. You really want to use the time and clear out the Punisher as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think 4 kills is better than a Punisher at this stage of the game. Yeah. So they're going to be pretty happy with that on the side of Northern Exposure. A good result from them now. And the Punisher cleared without even destroying the gate. Although, maybe the lasers will finish the gate. The gate
yeah!
The big gate kill.
He got a gate.
But something tells me they won't lose any sleep over that gate, having saved both of their towers. So, level 7 talents. By the way, Chromie is now picking her heroic because it's level 8 for her. Fairly standard everything on the level 7. So, nothing too exciting there. I mean, of course, Joanna still not going actually for the Q talent that you were talking about earlier. It's looking for Blessed Memento, so she's always going to have, with the talent and retaliation, she's basically going to have Condemn up non-stop. One of the downsides to that is it's one of the rare occasions when Joanna can run out of mana. Is there going to be a fight over this camp, by the way? Just
Just
about.
a little step too late. They still try to invade there. It's a 4 against 3 situation, but Donna Fedoras are able to retreat here and maybe look for an engage themselves. We see Condemn coming in from the Johanna, but oh, there's a nice temporal loop.
Yes.
Oh, she tried to pull out the Dragon Queen in the perfect timing, but she didn't manage to. So Alexstrasza falls and Tyrael falls as well. Good engage here from Donna Fedoras. Nice try from Alexstrasza to save herself with the Dragon Lady, with the split second that you are not on the map to dodge the temporal loop there. But she was unable to and got interrupted instead.
I mean, honestly, that's probably better for Alex. The Dragon Queen is a very long cooldown, and the respawn is not. So I think, all things considered, using the Dragon to survive that one temporal loop when there's no objective up to be fought over wouldn't have actually gained any value for Northern Exposure.
Yeah, by the way, chat is asking who the sub was. So the substitute player is actually Alone Name on the Rega currently. How would you judge the situation of having, oh, by the way, missing jet propulsion, missing dodging here the Entomb? Very well played.
Nice play from Bread Bucket.
Let's stick with it for a moment if we do see a fight coming up. If not, you can tell me, what do you think about having a sub as the support player?
I suspect they've played with this sub before, in terms of like practice, so they won't be totally new to this person. I don't know. I think anytime you take a sub into a high-level competition like this, it always feels like a disadvantage because you're not used to the timings and stuff and coordinating together. Probably it's not too much of an issue for them, though. I think, as I say, they probably know our name from elsewhere and are probably playing together a little bit. So it's probably not that big a factor right now.
Okay. By the way, we do have a bonus damage talent taken from a Phoenix on level 4, so he does provide that, and it is not Planet Cracker. I'm kind of sad as well. I mean, I predicted it this way, but to be honest with you, I would have loved to see that.
So the plan comes out from Joanna. In goes Tyrael and Blaze, trying to put pressure onto Leonardo, but in the meantime, Leoric and Joanna putting pressure onto Phoenix. Phoenix, the four-legged cavalry, running away with Endurance of Hate on the backline, though, doing a significant amount of work. But is it enough? It might not be. Stun comes out. Oh, Mephisto is the first to fall. Purification Salvo comes out. Ancestral tops Bread Bucket up, so he won't die to that. But it is one kill for nothing so far in this fight. And when this Dragon Queen ends, expect to see a re-engage from the Fedoras.
Yes, we do still have that Entomb up, so I guess Northern Exposure has to be really careful here and probably give up this objective as they are already sitting on 35 of the minions.
Yeah, the chat. I believe from what we saw in the lobby earlier that Sard, who plays for Fedoras, has a wedding today. In that he's actually getting married, so he may.
Okay, I mean there are a few things that are more important than the Heroes Lounge playoffs, but that might be one of them.
I don't believe. Right, now this Punisher's pushing in the mid lane. It is a Mortar Punisher, which can absolutely tear through the fort if given the chance. He has cut through the fort pretty quickly, and it's still got 60% HP as it marches onto this front keep wall. Jumps over the wall, starts getting value onto Tyrael, maybe putting a zoning Phoenix a little bit away. I think it's going to be cleared fairly safely after that, though, and with that, of course, they will slip back.
Okay, so looking rough actually for Northern Exposure for the moment. We expected a close game, and I wouldn't count them out yet, but we have 2 ejectors on the side of Donna Fedoras. The team fights were somewhat equally spread, I would say. We have a gank on the Leoric here, who's actually retreating with the reboost on his walk, but still they might get the kill. He's even spraying there. he knew he was damned. Yeah. And they immediately tried to benefit from this and try to pressure the top lane a little bit. Next objective is gonna be top, so that might help them a little bit. We see Blaze on the retreat to deal with the other 2 lanes. And yeah, top lane is careful now. Wall is open, that is gonna help you with the next... Oh, Johnson, we have actually...
The Sanctification to deny the temporal loop, but that is a big cooldown. And in the meantime, Joanna's going to start running in. The fort will provide the coverage for now. Entomb is up, but I think they're not going to fight. Maybe I spoke too soon. Bread Bucket starts walking in Wraith form, trying to catch Alex Strauss. The Entomb's available. There it goes onto two members. Durance to counters, does a bit of damage, but so it's only Alex Strauss who falls, and of course Blaze is still soaking. But that's still a kill to kill, and more importantly perhaps, the Sanctification is on cooldown for a while.
Yeah, it's still a minute that we do have no Sanctification there. And I'm not sure if Tyrael really was that much threatened there from that kill, but he decided to go for the safe route and pull off the Sanctification to dodge that. And Blaze just with the jet propulsion, but I think he might have some trouble. Bunker is there. Nice. So another gank costing another ultimate, but both of the tanks survived it. And as the next objective is not yet announced, they probably will have their objectives or their ultimates back up in time.
Yeah, so I think they will have everything back. That's fair enough then. Entombed though onto Blaze this time, and there's no more ultimates to save him from this, but he manages to get out eventually. But the temporal loop, what's he got? He's got nothing left to save himself. Alex is doing some significant heals, and actually Blaze is putting a bit of pressure on himself in response. Phoenix get the purification salvo interrupted, so it doesn't quite go off. It's on short cooldown now for another 5 seconds, but maybe they can chase here. If there's a Durance onto Joanna.
Tank in the tower there, that is costing them maybe. No, it is not.
Just about escaped, and everybody is still miraculously alive.
Yeah, kind of interesting to see that although they focused a lot on Blaze in the start of the fight, and they didn't get the kill, they haven't paid for it. They still managed to survive everything and get a good chunk of damage onto the keep, which is almost down. So yeah, this is gonna apply even some more pressure on the side of Northern Exposure.
So I'll tell you something else, which is the cooldowns, the heroic cooldowns. Yes, I think they will be up in time for this shrine, but you can see that clearly Donna Fedoras are very happy to trade cooldowns in this game because they can see the difference in cooldowns. Like most of the heroic cooldowns on the side of the Fedoras are pretty short. Blessed Shield, Temporal Loop, Entomb, they're all pretty short cooldowns compared to like Bunker and Sanctification, which are quite long. It's only Ancestral really, which has a long cooldown. But they're all up now as this next fight kicks off. Pre-Shrine, Rainy Day Eric on the Phoenix, trying to sit back. Has the Purification salvo still available? Baby Houdini, can you survive long enough to get to the Sanctification? Where is it? It's not been used. Tyrael's dead. It wasn't up for another 8 seconds. Oh my days. Phoenix has been blown up as well as a response from Tyrael dying. The Entomb's there. Can the Dragon Queen get off? Yes, but who's it going to save? Baby Houdini, maybe? Finally, Alex Strasser dies as well. That's 3 members already on the deck. Blaze will die as well. Mephisto surely will fall. They can get a 5-0 team wipe in favor of the Fedoras.
Yeah, and what we can see is the value, which is already mentioned in the chat as well. That empowered Wraith Walk, that damage negation, because we see Northern Exposure actually fight for a long time, but every time they were hit by that Leoric with the E, they have reduced damage, and they are not getting any kills with that. Mainly due to that, and of course to good healings and a general good positioning and good fighting from the side of Donna Fedoras. But I think that that Wraith Walk from Leoric is really paying off here for them.
And the Sanctification did get interrupted, I think, by Joanna when he was trying to save Blaze from the temporal loop. By the way, Baby Houdini, now Sanctification is available, but he doesn't want to go in and use it when the Bunker's being used first. Eric on the Phoenix gets picked off first, before the Sanctification even be used to save him. Now there's a Sank available. Yes, they're going to help here, but there's still a Punisher pushing onto core. This is maybe going to go all the way here. There's 2 members on the deck already. Baby Houdini trying to catch onto the Chromie, who hides in the ice block for now. The Punisher slowly getting chipped down by the core. Aloe Name on the Rhaegar falling pretty low. Ancestral not up for 10 seconds, but the Punisher jump!
Ooh, that John Cena maybe securing. Yes, he does secure the kill on Blaze, but not on Tyrael yet. Tyrael is getting another heal from the circle of the Alex Strasser, and we see Alias on Mephisto trying to do whatever he can, but the core is dropping lower and lower, and it actually falls down. So first game in the hands of Donna Fedoras. Congratulations.
Brilliant play from them. So Donna Fedoras already why they've been the favourites in the past you got to say they looked fairly confident there, and I really liked that Tyrael Blaze idea. I was like, going into the game, I was like, this looks strong here with the extras of the Tyrael Blaze. They've got a lot of survivability, but it just
but
got
again,
controlled.
this time, like we saw earlier, we see Chromie sitting on 70,000 damage. We have top damage on the side of Northern Exposure with Mephisto on 45 or 44k. And Chromie, and look at that Leoric damage. Leoric has more damage than any member of Northern Exposure, and he is a split soaker. I mean, if you're split soaking against Blaze, you're doing a lot of damage, obviously, but nonetheless, quite a strong performance, let alone the negation of the damage on the side of Northern Exposure. That's probably why Phoenix and has so few damage here. And we just can say like that Phoenix, which caught us by surprise, did not really pay off.
Yes, and I think that's all a lot about the Joanna having interrupts for days. That's partly due to sensible drafting choices from talent choices from Joanna and drafting as well. Like the Joanna always having
first
condemn.
pick Johanna on Shrines is actually probably kind of a must do on that level of gaming.
And she showed why. I mean, and the condemn was just basically always up, stopping Tyrael from sanctification, stopping Phoenix from purification salvo, just being a constant nuisance with constant disruption. Great play there from, I believe, Mist on the Johanna. Still, it's not over for our friends Northern Exposure, who are in a best of 3 semi-final here, of course. And they're just waiting to think about whether they're going to go for the map or first pick. They have the choice for game number 2. If you were them, what would you do if you were the Northern Exposure?
I think on that level of gaming in general, you run better with the map pick. I think it has more impact than the first pick, because I think that value of the first pick, it's not that important anymore, as we do have so many heroes which are in the current meta. You can run with a lot of different hero pools and different strategies, and from time to time, at least feels like this to me, that last pick that you have, if you're not having the first pick, can you give you an element of surprise. It can give you like the perfect opportunity to counter, because you do have the whole set of the enemy team right up in front of you, and you can think of a certain pick. So I don't think just that you get that much value out of the first pick. I think you get more value out of a map pick when you do have a certain map that you're strong on, when you do have a map, or when you do have an idea of what maps might be difficult for your enemy. I think you run better with that. And now you come on and tell me that they actually decided to go for first pick.
They haven't picked yet, so
Woo!
we'll see. Maybe. We've seen both. We've seen both happen today here at the Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup.
Sure, it did.
So we're still waiting. The chat is asking
to take a bite of pizza. Does it?
Yes, it does. But they were also asking, is that a painter's donkey? Which I don't know what that is, but they mean the thing behind you, I assume. So I'll tell you while you eat your pizza. I will tell you quickly that Volskaya Foundry has been picked. They did opt for map pick on the side of Northern Exposure. So, and we're going to Volskaya Foundry, Volskaya Industries.
I have actually no idea
Number 2.
What the English term is for Staffelei. That's the German word for it. And yes, it is a Staffelei, but that is a door. It is a Staffelei, probably painter's donkey, but it's not mine. I'm not that big of a painter.
There you go. We've learned something about you today, which is that you're not a painter.
I'm not a painter. Yeah, that information might be clutch someday.
Right.
And we do have pizza slices in the chat.
Pizza. Get the pizza out
it's
for the
not
for
pizza.
the viewers.
It's Doritos chips. It looks like kind of a pizza, but
I'll just put
I'm
random
eating
triangular objects.
No, I might get some sweet as well, but because we do have some split timing, and the fridge is right around the corner.
I know what that is. That's the Twitch chat calling for Deckard Cain to be picked. He's just saying all those triangles, you want Deckard Cain to be picked. Well, don't tell me. Tell the players. tell the players that you want Deckard Cain.
I 100% want Deckard Cain.
Well, there you go.
I would agree with that. And by the way, if you ask me, there's only one sweet in the world. It's a Kinderriegel. You have to be honest.
Today's
I'm not sure if
legendary
they
cup
exist
sponsored
out
by
of Germany.
Kinder. It's not. Don't sue us. Don't sue us, Kinder, for not being sponsored by you.
No, Kinder is not. I'm not sponsored by Kinder. I'm not sponsored by anyone. But they're tasty. It's chocolate and milk. It's great.
There you go. So, I agree. I agree with good snacks. I'll tell you what, in terms of snacks. By the way, in case you're wondering, viewers, why we're all talking about food now, it's because we've got a 7-hour cast today, and we are what looks like 5 hours in, and so we're a bit hungry. I've got roasted butternut squash, which is lightly spiced, but it's now cold because it's been 5 hours. So,
Yeah, I mean, the games are actually giving me some energy as well, because, like I said, I'm getting more and more hyped. But I think my body is not getting any nutrition from Heroes of the Storm games hype. I don't think that would work.
That's not good.
So
these
on a 7-day cast, 7 hours cast, we might have to ride our body with something else.
These cubes are actually Deckard's Herodric cubes, whereas your pizza is his triangle scroll of.
Yeah.
So we're eating Deckard Cain's food today.
Yeah, it's fine. That's good. I mean, he has this large book. Maybe he can read a recept out of that or something. I don't know.
Right. I think we are actually almost ready to go into the draft. If you can.
Oh, I would be.
Hi. Of course. Yes. So before we do, another reminder. I know I keep saying it, but Division S next weekend. I mean, I'm as excited as you hopefully are in the chat. Division S is really the top level of Heroes of the Storm in the world, and so we're excited to see it come back for another season. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication. If you can support the prize pool for players, then please do. You can type !divs donate somewhere in the chat. We have a pool for EU and a pool for NA. Anyway, enough of me yattering on. Let's get into the draft of Volskaya Foundry, game number 2.
Oh, actually, I think my picture froze.
It looks like you're frozen.
Yeah.
Well, I will fix that momentarily. Okay, it's been fixed, but yeah, we're in the draft now anyway, so never mind.
But it's amazing. I look so good on that. Okay, now let's stick with the game. Come on. Volskaya Foundry. Valoban again. What do you expect? Like, what priority on heroes can we see here?
Alarak's definitely going again, for sure. The question is, what else? So, Voloban, Alarak ban, then you've maybe got Joanna ban. I would like to see potentially Joanna ban from Northern Exposure, but if there's an ETC ban from Donna Fedoras, it doesn't leave many tanks open for Northern Exposure. Banning the Garrosh. Personally, I rate ETC and Joanna over Garrosh, but that's maybe controversial, particularly at the higher level here that we are at. So
I think the main thing is if you ban out Garrosh, you get the value of Johanna even higher, because if you have Johanna, there's only, I guess Garrosh is kind of the tank that you don't want to face, because Johanna is one of the tanks that is not, or does not really love it to tank these throws, so to step in front of your backline to get thrown herself. That's not so easily done, and not so good to do with Johanna, as she doesn't have any escape to just jump back like a Muradin, ETC, or Diablo has. So we do see the Johanna ban immediately afterwards. Not really surprised, but Alarak is still open, and I guess that is a map where you really can run an Alarak combo here.
Yes. They're not going for the Junkrat. Okay. It leaves. So ETC is going to get picked up now, I assume. Unless they want to leave that open as well. I don't get it. I don't get why Alarak's open. I don't get why ETC's open.
Yeah, really surprised by the Junkrat pick. I mean, he was banned the last time, so maybe they saw an opportunity to go for him here, and we see Anna and Chromie this time. So basically, a chain of thought that we already had today, like Chromie taken away from Donna or Fedoras and picked themselves at the same time, as she's pretty strong on Volskaya.
Yeah, so Chromie definitely, I think, is a good pick here. Anna, we know that Juicy on Anna is great, and also great at denying ancestral healing from Rhaegar that we saw a couple of series ago against Team Heart. But maybe, I don't know, leaving the Chen's going to be a real threat for Chromie and Anna for a start. Like, I don't know what Anna's going to do at Chen when he perhaps presses his heroic. That's going to be a real problem. With the ETC ban now, that suggests they are looking for a Tyrael again on the side of Northern Exposure, and this time
they must have in mind to pick the tank in the next round 100%. Yeah. And banning out another one basically opens the opportunity to really reduce the hero pool of tanks on the side of Donna Fedoras, because if they pick one next, so we see the Malthael banned. I guess, yeah, we do still have some high priority tanks available. We do have the Arthurs, we have the Diablo is still open, can be good on Volskaya. But yeah, Muradin, not so often seen in the last few weeks, but could be played here.
It could be Tyrael, you know. Yeah, so going for the Tyrael again. And this time, there's no Joanna around to interrupt that sanctification, and there's no ETC to interrupt sanctification. Diablo and Muradin, well, Diablo definitely can't deal with the sanctification because he's got other priorities. So then maybe it's a Muradin coming out from Mist, and that'll depend on his timings and stuff and whether he's focusing Tyrael. And if he's doing that, then he's not focusing Reyna, who's going to be cutting him into pieces. Maybe this is a good plan actually to get this Tyrael having choked out the Joanna and ETC.
There's the Alarak. By the way, last pick Alarak. I don't know when was the last time that I witnessed that.
Yeah, and also with an Anub on top, that's two heroes who are going to go onto Chromie and just ruin Chromie's day. And I'm not entirely
Chen
sure.
Jumping on her as well. I kind of missed the synergy on the side of Donna Fedoras together with the Junkrat. I'm not sure. Maybe the Riptire, of course, for the burst, but apart from that, I don't think Junkrat is ready to go that far in the backline or deal damage there with that front line of Tyrael and Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It is tough. I think it's tough to work out what they're going to do. One thing's, I know the Mal'Ganis has got a lot of CC. I'm still very afraid for Chromie with a new Alarak and Chen diving on her. I think that's going to be tough, and Anna in particular.
Yeah, but still, it would be hard for me to make a favorite out of the draft. I was kind of surprised by the Rhaegar pick into the Anna. Maybe because of the information I already have that the team of Donna Fedoras don't. Because we saw the interrupts and the negations of the ancestral healing from Juicy. So yeah, hard to make out a favorite out of the draft.
It is indeed a tough one to call, but let's see how we go as we go into game number 2 in this best of 3 series. And on the left, in blue, it's Donna Fedoras with Bread Bucket on Chen, Aronas on Alarak, Alonim on Rhaegar, Mist on Anub'arak, and Ruini on Junkrat.
And on the other side, for the team of Northern Exposure, we do have Eric on Arena, we have Cordune on the Tyrael. Juicy is playing the Anna, we have Baby Houdini on Mal'Ganis, and Elias is playing the Chromie.
So, straight away, teams all going to mid, looking for a big brawl. Chromie, of course, needs those stacks. Alarak, by the way, going for the E talent, not going for the telekinesis talent that we saw.
Not only that, even going for the sustaining power, which is going to give him a lot more sustain during the protection phase. So maybe that's what he has in mind. Picking that talent.
Yeah,
still kind of surprised by that. And on the other side, they are running a comp where they can dive in with the Anubarak, jump afterwards with the Chen. So there's probably not a real reason to pull the enemies time after time close to you. So no reason to really have that combo up all of the time. I guess we're gonna see a different talent level for them as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how they play it. Both teams are probably going to go to the turret camps pretty soon. But there's an attempt to gank onto Chen here, who's pretty far forward, but jumps out safely. Nice play from Bread Bucket, and Alarak comes in just to zone off Mal'Ganis from committing any further.
Yeah, one thing that we haven't talked yet about, and it's interesting to see that either team is really going for this. Now finally we see the team of Northern Exposure go for the camp, but nobody is providing with a break. Well, they are providing with the break. I was just talking about the turrets there, but yeah, kind of interesting choice that we saw at the moment. I'm not sure if I can really talk about this because we do have a break, so I'm not talking any tactical stuff that is currently going on the map, I guess.
Yeah, so well, let's maybe go back to talking about the draft a little bit, because what is actually the game plan of Northern Exposure with the Tyrael and Mal'Ganis? Like, they've got the Chromie there for the poke, and the Reyna's got good sustained damage. Is the idea that they just sit back and they just throw out poke, and then when the enemy comes in, they've got Tyrael and Mal'Ganis for protection? Is that sort of the idea?
I guess that we just gonna see a dragged out fight as long as they can survive as many engages as they can, and once they drop low, they really try to dive in with the Mal'Ganis. Maybe from time to time you can grab a kill like we saw earlier on Battlefield of an Eternity from Team Snore, I think, with the Mal'Ganis, with the Night Rush set up and the follow-up from the Chromie. But apart from that, yeah, like the idea for Team Dawn of Fedoras is a pretty clear for me a little bit. Like, you can easily tell what their game plan is, but on the other side, it's hard to tell if they want to go for a single target blow up with the Mal'Ganis or if they want to go for just poke and wait until they drop low enough. But the problem is, on that point that you really have to keep, you might not have the time to wait long enough to fight.
By the way, Reyna going for ace in the hole at level 1. That it looks like they're putting a lot of their eggs in the basket of slows and stuns again, like we saw in an earlier series. So ace in the hole doing more damage with this against slowed and stunned targets. Well, the Mal'Ganis has got stuns with his swipes. He's got the sleep, which counts as a stun until you're woken up. You've got the slows from Tyrael, the slows from Chromie time traps, which by the way have been picked up at level 4 or level 2, but 4 in Chromie land. Anna's sleep counts as a stun as well. Maybe there'll be other slows on top of that. And then Chromie may well move into the bonus damage against slowed targets at level 7. So it looks like they're really trying to just keep everyone soft CC'd and get bonus damage from Reyna and Chromie on top of them and just grind them down, because Rhaegar's eventually just going to run out of heals.
Yeah, that might be an idea here, sure. It's like I'm really I can't tell too much how this fight or how this game will go on. But so far, if I would have to play one, I probably would play rather in the side of Dawn of Fedoras here. I think their game plan is a little bit clearer here, just in general.
Absolutely. I think their plan is dive and get kills, and Junkrat's going to provide continuous pressure to set things up, maybe. We're almost ready to go back into the game, I think, so we're going to do that momentarily. Question mark?
Apparently we get no reply from the team Dawn of Fedoras.
Okay, we are going back in to the game number 2 in this best of 3 series. And of course,
so now I can finally talk about the nice idea of Team Dawn of Fedoras to go for the biotic emitter first here. So using the time that they probably suspected the team of Northern Exposure to really go for the turret here, and instead pick up the healing turret and then secure the more safe turret themselves.
Yeah, and that's A nice call from Don Fedoras to be aware of where the enemy team is on the map and to, how to respond to that. And as you pointed out, we have to be sort of quiet about that while the pause in case anyone was watching. So, with that in mind, both teams level 4 fairly evenly, and it's just the one item advantage that's basically given the XP lead, as we can see here on the XP board, for Don Fedoras. It's just that mercenary extra 700 XP. So things fairly even so far. There's a bit of bonus minion XP that'll be soaked up pretty soon. Chromie's going to be level 7 very soon, in a couple of seconds, and when she does, I'm expecting to see that bonus damage on slowed targets talent that I was just mentioning during the pause, but they're holding off from the picker for a second.
Hasn't decided on the level 7 yet. I mean, it's like, I was just looking through some other talents. Kind of surprised by Chaos Reigns from the Alarak here. I was expecting maybe the E-Quest here, but he decided to go for more damage on the Discord Strike. So probably like going for more burst with that, trying to provide a lot of more single target damage there, which is kind of understandable as well in the setup that they run here.
Yeah, I think so. Like, they're just going to try and go in and destroy somebody. Who that is, we don't. Well, it could be Anna, it could be Tyrael, it could be Chromie, but it could even be Tyrael, like we were saying. I mean, if they can stop him from sanctifying, whatever, then he'll probably go down as well.
Really surprised to see those sprays. I mean, this is a situation. We are in the semi-finals of the Legendary Cup, so the team who wins this series will go to the finals, and it's a 1-0 lead for Don Fedoras. And let's stick with the fight here. We have Houdini in the backline with the Night Rush, sleeping the Junkrat, but on the other side, we see the engage on the Reyna, and he's actually fallen. Alarak with the kill there.
And that secures
the first protector on the side of Don Fedoras.
Yeah. That's just going to go straight down to the mids, and then probably will go rotate it to the top and get that fountain, because then that's where the next protector will be. So, pretty solid play from Fedoras so far, and they're not really showing any weaknesses. It's 1 kill to 0. You know, nobody's feeding on the side of Northern Exposure, but they're still behind now a whole level, and they're going to be down a fountain in the top lane, where that protector's going to be the next time.
If they really decide to stick with it, I guess they're trying to bait them out, although Tyrael is pretty aware of what was going on and why they were baited, scouting out the Alarak in the bush there. So the question is, will they use those 9 seconds to really get the fountain? They try to do it. Yes, they will finish the fountain really quick. We have the sand trap, slowing sands here from the Chromie picked as her ultimate, which is going to provide even more slows to get even more bonus damage on that Reyna.
Yeah, so I think that's one thing that Northern Exposure could have done potentially, is fight with their own, as we just got another pause here, back to our beautiful faces, is fight with their level, the Chromie level 10, so you've got 1 heroic versus 0, you know, the 8v9. I sort of understand why they haven't, because they're depending on Tyrael getting to level 10 for a lot of their comp ideas. So it's a bit of a sort of swings and roundabouts situation for Northern Exposure, where, you know, on the one hand they had the advantage of the slowing sand, but on the other hand they kind of need Tyrael to get to 10 before they can make anything happen.
So, like, maybe to let you guys know, it's like we do have missed currently with some connection problems, it looks like. And to be honest with you, because chat was already saying, like, oh, German internet, blah, blah, blah. I'm on German internet as well. My connection is just fine. just to clear it out. It's no problems in Germany. It's all good.
No problems in Germany at all.
No. Not with the internet connection, at least. We do have many problems, but not with the internet connection. This is running fine.
So Yeah, I mean, it's been difficult for us to comment on the situation in the game at the moment. But I mean, what's your feeling about how things like John and Fedoras have looked a little bit in charge so far in this game, haven't they?
Yeah, and you talked about it. It's not about the killing count, which is really rising, but they look dominant on the team fights. I really think that the Alarak is looking kind of dangerous, even more and more and more the longer the game goes. And to be honest with you, he still has 0 stacks on his Chaos Reigns quest, but he even went for the slow on the 7, so he went for hindered motion, which is kind of, I guess that felt like, I guess it was the meta build a few years ago on that Alarak. It might still have some value, or it probably will. That's why we see good players playing it as well. But yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't see yet any real power spike. I mean, we know that Chromie is getting stronger and stronger with the time, and maybe she can provide the damage that they really, really need to get kills here finally. But on the other side, it's hard to come back from this. And yeah, this we do have only 1 kill, but the advantage is getting bigger and bigger, and you can start to snowball. Soon enough, we will have a 10 against 9 situation on the level. And yeah, then you have your back against the wall. We do have the turrets probably up, so we might see the team of Dawn of Fedoras invade the enemy turrets because they have the level 10 advantage. They might have to let this pass through. Without the turrets, you get trouble on the next objective. You already don't have the fountain on the next objective. With this objective, you might lose 1, 2 forts and the fountain on the bot lane. And this way is a classic snowballing game, which we are very often have on Wildskaya Foundry, and it's getting harder and harder to get back from.
Okay, so you are right, but we are finally back into this game. For those who've just tuned in recently, we are watching the Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup. That's the top teams from Divisions 2 and 3, and this is the second semi-final. If Northern Exposure lose this game, they are out of the Legendary Cup. But if they win, we'll go to game number 3 to decide who goes through to the grand final against Team Snore, which we will be playing a bit later. And we've got another pause for a disconnect.
I mean, I think there's a rule set for this, isn't it? Like,
yes. So the teams have a limited time for disconnect and stuff. It's like 10 minutes, I think, per team per game. So
I mean, like, to be honest with you, I don't think we had just a regular ongoing game. That's kind of fascinating as well. Like, first game, we had some technical issues on our side. Second game, there was some delay and some problems, I think, with one player who disconnected from the draft or during the draft, and all of that time took us quite some time. And now we do have a player who is disconnecting time after time after time. So yeah, not only that, we do have a cast marathon coming up for us. They're making it difficult because we have to fill all these breaks.
yes, indeed.
It's not like I'm running out of talking about Heroes of the Storm. I can talk for days about Heroes of the Storm, but they're really putting up to the challenge here.
Well, I was actually about to comment on our about our viewer poll that we had, which is still going on. So, Team Snore.
How many votes on Fork did we get?
How many votes on Fork?
Total. Four does mean that we are super cast.
Total, there are 5 votes, and I think, to be honest, some of them were for CAB Guilemanga. So, let me get the poll back up so the viewers can see how the standings are running as well. Pizza time has been called in the chat. Yeah, so Guilemanga obviously are out of the tournament now. Interestingly, they have the same number of votes as Team Snore. So, but Team Snore is the only team in the grand final so far. So that's not really how probability works. But if there's one thing we know from viewer polls is that they're always horrendously wrong. So
yeah. Here, Chad is telling me or asking me to tell why Pridewing is the best hero ever. Yeah, like not only the players just put us up with a challenge here. Also, the chat is now because I don't know how can a fake dragon be the best hero ever.
Sorry
I
to
don't know.
interrupt you, but we're going back into the game, and actually,
All right. Oh, that saved me.
I'll tell you something. It looks like Mist just came back in time because basically they've run out of pause time, and any more disconnects, and they're going to be playing with a bot basically. So
Yeah, they were about to play with the bot anyway because the time just ran out. But right as we say it, Anubarak was back for a split second, and now it looks like he went. So yeah, we see an Anubarak bot, and like playing with a bot on that level of gaming is bad in general. But to be honest with you, to have the bot on an Anubarak, which is the hero that you want to have to initiate here, this might be even more trouble.
Well, I will say one thing is that being a bot now doesn't mean that they're going to be a bot for the rest of the game. And of course, Mist is going to continue to be just trying to reconnect, as you or I would in Storm League. But it's just that the game is going on without him until they're back. In the meantime, of course, they get a kill immediately on the no-break, and they know, and it's fair enough from Northern Exposure. There's nothing, they can't just say, well, we're not going to take the free kill, because if the bot's playing aggressively and stuff, they've got to punish him. So this is just a matter of will Mist be able to reconnect in a timely manner. Otherwise, it's probably going to be all she wrote for Donna Fedoras in this game. And also, by the way, going into game number 3, when are these internet issues going to get fixed? It is a shame, but maybe they could bring out a substitution for game number 3. Oh, by the way, Cordoon goes in deep, but lovely sleep from Anna secures the escape.
Yeah, they actually put up quite a fight with the bot here. Yeah, as you said before, it's probably going to feed from time to time, as a bot does not know when to retreat, because he doesn't listen to your pings. That is kind of bad. Well, it does listen to pings, but in a very weird way, and sometimes, at least to me, it feels kind of unpredictable what the bot is going to do next, and that makes it difficult to play with him.
Yeah, they should make it voice activated, like like an Amazon Echo or something. It'd be like Anubarak, engage soon.
Yeah, that would be so nice.
Sorry, I don't understand. Right. But I think it looks like Anubarak's trying to reconnect. But it's just
he is for the moment. But not only is it a matter of will he be able to reconnect, the question is will he be able to play with it, especially because I can only assume that in the time that he's not here, he might very well be with some trouble on the lag scale. But there's actually a good engage on the Chromie, but without the Anubarak following up, the Anubarak is going for the objective, and it looks like he's following the Junkrat. Maybe they should switch this to the Alarak, so that the two Araks can actually work together. Yeah, they're pinging back and forth here. Mist is actually currently just back, as we do have an engage on the Chen, and they just get healed by the Ancestral Healing. And Mist is here with the perfect timing here. We see the Sanctification negating the Riptire completely, which is a good engage, but on the backline we see Treble for Chromie coming in. Earth, Wind, and Fire is still going afterwards. There's a Cocoon on the Anna in the perfect timing, so Chromie falls for the moment. Will Donna Fedoras actually get more and try to use the time that they do have their main tank here, finally, and not on a bot?
The coordination, like as soon as Anubarak engaged, sorry, as soon as Anubarak reconnected, they immediately engaged and got the value. Great play there from Donna Fedoras, and now they're looking to catch Baby Houdini on the Mal'Ganis, who doesn't have the Night Rush available to get out there, and he's going to fall as well.
Yeah, and meanwhile, although they didn't really focus that much, because we saw Alarak try to put a lot of pressure on the Reina and the Anna, and he managed to do so. So they not only get the next Protector, they will get a fort even before the Protector as well, and might immediately be able to rotate through the mid lane, get a fort there, and get the bottom fountain as well, which is going to have them a big lead for the next fight coming up.
Yeah, and all this with Anubarak having been a bot for a few minutes. Now with this Protector, yeah, they're looking at this top keep. They're not looking to go for the fountain at the bottom. Oh, the mine onto Tyrael, who's dead before he can even place his turret. That's savage. And Mal'Ganis goes in to try and zone a bit, control the turret, but no. That's not going to get the value. Baby Houdini needs to be careful. He doesn't have Tyrael to back him up. Riptide comes in, zoning all the backliners away to keep Melted down so it doesn't get any value. And for now, they're still in the game, but it's tough. It's a tough situation here for Northern Exposure.
And don't forget that they still have Rega on with a healing, with a biotic emitter. They just used one there that was on the side of Alarak. It's a 1% only left on the Protector, so it doesn't look like they really want to go for the advantage on the battle bot lane for the next Protector. So they instead decided to push a little bit on the keep. They got the wall there, and then tried to use the last few seconds of the Protector on the mid lane.
The Protector has been finally cleared. Bread Bucket gets slapped by Baby Houdini. The swipes are there, but the silence just shuts down Mal'Ganis, who's going to get another swipe onto Chen. The Ancestral comes out just to secure Chen's escape safely. And for now, that's a solid disengage from Fedoras, although they did have to commit one heroic for it.
Yeah, and they look so stable. Like for a split second, it felt like Chen engaged or re-engaged it. He jumped in onto the Reyna, and it felt like the rest of the team was not ready for that. It felt like they were not ready to engage. They were just ready to disengage and retreat. But they didn't pay for it at all. We did have the Ancestral, it probably wasn't even needed. Meanwhile, we saw a catch on the Anna, and she has no chance of surviving that. Brilliant. Good thing that Mist is back.
Yeah, Mist is back well and truly, and immediately punishing Anna. So, Baby Houdini trying to control Bread Bucket's Chen here, and I think they want a rotation gank. Anna's still dead, but it doesn't matter because the rest of Donna Fedoras are nowhere near this. If Reyna can stop Chen from jumping out, this is massive. Can they stop it? Is it enough? It's enough.
It's enough. They get the kill against the solo laner, which might open them a slight door back into this game, which they really barely need. Not desperately.
The one thing, the only thing is though that Donna Fedoras have 2 healing items and a turret versus just the 1 turret on the side of Northern Exposure. As Baby Houdini goes in with the swipes, and you can see, just look, it's full Mario Kart on the side of Donna Fedoras. Every single one of them is carrying an item. As Reyna has to run away using the conveyor belt. Tyrael's in the cocoon, has the Sanctification when he comes out. Mal'Ganis uses his ult to try and get in and uses the survivability. Sanctification is available, but they're not using it just yet. The healing item's there. Are they going to use the Sanct to deny the Riptire? No, they're not. Ancestral comes out, saves Alarak, and Mal'Ganis falls. The concussion mine.
That was neck-crackling. They needed that kill on that Alarak there. Not only to win this team fight, but also to set back his sadism. He's sitting on 156 sadism. So that Alarak is really, really doing a lot of work here.
Absolutely. And that means they have to give this turret to the enemy team as well on the side of Northern Exposure. And so Donna Fedoras secure an even stronger item advantage. Although they used some in that last fight. The problem they have now.
Whoa!
Ruini, the Junkrat god.
The concussion mine just putting her out of their own fort behind the gate, barely jumping out of it again.
Great play from Ruini on Junkrat there. Okay.
And this is looking rough. 26 seconds without Chromie. Pressure on every lane, basically. Mist is all the way back. He doesn't seem to have connectivity problems anymore.
And, by the way, they're level 20 in probably another 30 seconds to a minute. And when they do, what is going to be the game plan from Northern Exposure? Are they just going to give this objective? I assume they have to, unless they can go right now. So they're arguing, I assume, amongst themselves, do we contest 17 vs 19, or do we get them have the Protector and try to soak a bit, get us close to 20?
I really think they might have to engage here. We see them. There's a little bit step forward from the Alarak, and he's actually trying to retreat with his own telekinesis on himself. And they get a lot of damage done on here, and it's still not level 20 here, but that Carrion Swarm does not come through, and Mal'Ganis falls before he can save himself with the ultimate. And now they do have really looking into a rough situation. Level 20 is around the corner. It's a 5 against 4 situation. It's a 5 against 3 situation. Excuse me for a moment there.
It might be more. It might not be
Forget
over
about
here.
Alarak there or what? I'm sorry.
Bread Bucket on Chen thought about going in. He used his heroic to try and engage, but it's not going to catch anymore. But still, 5v3, 20 versus 17, Protector versus no Protector. This is a rough situation here for Northern Exposure as this Protector marches on keep.
Pressure on the top lane. That siege camp is coming through. Eric is having to leave the top keep fall because they need to stop that Protector, and Reyna can do a little bit of damage towards that and really start to drop this low. Oh, nice engage coming in here. Double stun. He's going in with the level 20 immediately, trying to get a kill against the airline. He does with the counter-strike afterwards. Well played from the Alarak here, from Arunas. Really showing how you can make basically any build on the Alarak work. But Carrion Swarm is here. Will they get some counterplay? Somehow they really need desperately a kill, but they don't get any. We have the Cocoon on the Chromie, and it's Reyna who falls. And afterwards they will get the Chromie as well if she can make it through, and it looks like it. It's 20% on the core. Chromie can stay in stasis for the core. No! Chromie falls as well. And that's game. A classic 2-0 series from Donna Fedoras against Northern Exposure. Did not expect that, to be honest, from what we've seen from Northern Exposure so far. And that tells you a lot about already.
Yeah, wow. I mean, just comprehensive there from Donna Fedoras. They looked so calm, so in control. I smelled a little bit of fatigue on the side of Northern Exposure. You know, they've been playing all day, and it's probably, you know, a tough for them. I don't know. I think it's been. They didn't look at their sharpest there in that final game because they looked so dominant earlier on today, and yet here they didn't quite bring everything to the table. They weren't quite all on the same page. And I think one thing we saw is that the Mal'Ganis was effective, but Don Fedoras had the answers to it, and they completely split the team of Northern Exposure down the middle, put Mal'Ganis on one side, and the rest of that and dealt with it that way. And really, there was never any sanctification value as a result.
Yeah, and it's like, I think in both games, we saw Northern Exposure maybe relying a little bit too much on that sanctification to help them deal with it. But like we said before, I think they could have maybe after the first game changed their general game plan. In the second, up until now, I cannot tell what the general game plan would be on that side. I guess it would be poke. I guess it would be bonus damage with Ace in the hole on the Reyna. But in the end, Reyna had less damage than Mal'Ganis, so he wasn't able to provide with a lot of damage because against this combination, you can't run an auto attack hero to be sure that he's going to provide all the damage without the peel that they needed for it. And still, we see Alarak top damage, 7-6-0 game on Alarak. Kind of surprised that we actually saw 2 games with an Alarak in it, because both teams, or both times, they thought like not picking him. And I got the idea on Infernal Shrines of letting him open, because on Infernal Shrines, Alarak does not work that well. You have too many shadows where you can hide. You cannot let Alarak run through there. You have the minions in the way, and it helps you from time to time. But with that, on Volskaya Foundry, I was kind of surprised to actually see him even last picked.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think, but actually, Alarak wasn't the be all and end all in this draft. I think when we saw earlier, you know, against Team Snore, Alarak was, you know, kind of a very decisive factor and crucial to winning. Here, it wasn't all about, you know, big Alarak engages. It was a lot about Chen and Anubrak coming in together, and also just the positioning of the fight and kind of pulling the team of Northern Exposure apart. With that in mind, that does mean that Donna Fedoras are going to go through to the grand final. We are going to take a 10-minute break. Just before we do, I'll just answer the question in chat. What do you think about the Chromie in this game? Not this best game. It depends on the situation. Like, that's the thing. It's quite easy for us to be armchair experts and say, well, you know, this wasn't that effective or that wasn't that effective. But the problem is, it's all about the situation in the map, and obviously, and one of the things about great players is they make their opponents look worse, if you know what I mean. You really, your weaknesses get exposed the stronger the opponent you're against. And I think Chromie couldn't get value there because of just the sheer threat of Anub'arak and Alarak.
Yeah,
So,
I guess it's not like we still saw in that game Chromie on top damage on the side of Northern Exposure. But yeah, like we said before, with the engage combination they had, Chromie was under a lot of pressure almost all of the time, and Alarak and Junkrat can't really focus well. Target that is called out by Anub'arak, and if Chen went into the Earth, Wind, and Fire, he can do so much damage, which he did. He has top damage, he has second most damage on the side of Donna Fedoras. And yeah, it shows you why Chen is actually in the current meta pretty strong.
yes, I agree. So there's going to be a bit of a break before the grand final to give a bit of a breather to the winners of Down Off Fedoras who don't have to do back-to-back series. I mean, for me, it's interesting that Northern Exposure, who were the leaders in our viewer poll about who would win, they are now eliminated, and actually there's only Team Snore and Don Fedoras left. Sadly, we don't have a third place playoff between Northern Exposure and COB Geilebanger. That's not how we don't run third place playoffs for this tournament. But if there were one, hypothetically, Heroes at School, who do you think would win third place? Or is that a provocative question?
Yeah, that's actually, I guess, just from what we saw just one game of COB, and they had a rough time in that game. So I guess from the performances that we saw, you would probably have to count that towards Northern Exposure. I think they would win this game. But yeah, it's hard to tell. I'm just going to be more curious about actually the grand finale. It's hard for me to make a prediction there because I can't really make out a favorite there. How about you? Can you like really say about would you say who would win the grand final now?
Well, let me tell you a juicy bit of gossip before we take our break. John Fedoras went 2-0 in every series this season except one. And that was in the playoffs when they played against Team Snore in the group stages. And they won. John Fedoras won 2-1 against Team Snore in a very close series. Here in the grand final, we know that Team Snore have really brought their A game. They've looked devastating here. John Fedoras haven't lost a map yet today. Team Snore only lost one, and that was against Diaz earlier on. And other than that, they looked very strong. I don't know.
And you have to count in maybe a little bit that we do have, but that would be interesting for me as well. Do you think that as an advantage or a disadvantage that you just played a game? We had Donna Fedoras just winning, so they do have a little bit less of a break. And on the other side, we do have Team Snore, who had like roughly around 1 hour maybe of break now before they head into the grand finals.
No, I think it is a disadvantage, which is why Donna Fedoras are allowed a bit of a break. But the reason it's because, look, as you're probably feeling right now, we're tired, like mentally tired, just even from casting this. But they're going to have been playing all day. They're going to have been screaming at each other on the comms. You know, their voices will be tired, their fingers will be tired, everything. And so a break is absolutely crucial. I say using up our break time chatting away, but and that's going to be important. And also, don't forget, Team Snore will have just watched this semi-final with interest in the chat. You know, they will have been watching the match, and they'll have been making notes. You know, what are the weaknesses of Don Fedoras? How can we exploit that? And that's something I think that could work to their advantage. And I'm expecting to be a very, very close grand final.
I sure do too. Although, just from watching the semifinals, I think it would be hard to make out a weak point of Donna Fedoras because they run two completely different setups, two completely different game plans, and perform both very well. So maybe not that easy to get any information out of that. But in general, it's better than no information at all, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that in mind, I think we're going to go to a roughly 10-minute break. We're going to leave you with some of the replays from, some of the highlights from earlier today. Some of the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. There's lots that you can watch. We're going to go to a short break. We will be back with the grand final of the Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup. Please don't go anywhere. We will be back soon.